Hello and welcome, parents. It's great to see you. My name is Mr. Green. Hypothetically, welcome to room K2. I've been working with and teaching your students for the last 2 weeks now. And this is a showcase and presentation of our math skills class, which meets first period on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. A little bit about myself. I was born in Walnut Creek up in the Bay Area. I've been a California kid all my life. My father, Bob, is an accountant, a retired accountant after this past fall. My mother, Lori, is a veterinarian. She's kind of on and off and working. She is an emergency vet, an emergency overnight vet. She loves her job and is passionate about it. I'd like to think that a lot of my characteristics I get as a professional come from both of them. I'm very strong in mathematics, obviously, being a math teacher. I get that from my pops, and then I care about my job a lot. That's where I get from my mom. My sister, my little sister, who's about 22 months younger than me, Addie, is a sales rep for a small startup called Verikai. She also lives in San Diego. My parents are still up in the Bay Area. I got my master's in education, and I got my bachelor's in both education and mathematics. So hobbies of mine include swimming. I was a swim coach for about 10 years, and that's kind of where my passion for working with youth started. And I also love surfing, and I love film. A couple good college friends of mine are working over at some big film studios now, Industrial Light and Magic, Lucasfilm, Pixar, and we always used to spend a lot of nights just hashing over our favorite movies. And one thing that drew me to San Diego was the surf and the beach culture and the beach life. It very much kind of adheres to my style and my general kind of outlook and lifestyle that I look for. It's a little bit about myself. I'm looking forward to getting to know both you guys as well as your students over the course of the next 10 months or so. All right, a little bit about my classroom. So some of the classroom rules, right? So students will respect the right of the teacher to teach me, and the students, your children, to learn in an environment free of disruption and distraction. Students will respect the property of the school, teacher, and other students at all times. Students will also come to class prepared to learn with their assignments completed and their materials in hand. No ifs, ands, or buts. These are some pretty, groundwork expectations for all students across Oak Crest Middle School and our district. Students are expected to be in their seats and prepared to begin class when the bell rings. The students are also expected to be aware of and adhere to the rules in the OCMS handbook or agenda, which they received last Thursday. Some classroom expectations. So math skills is a safe, positive learning environment where the focus is on short and long-term improvement and forming good habits through practice, and more practice. It's important that students bring their materials and that they essentially come prepared with their math, with any kind of calculators, even though I provide calculators. Chromebooks are important, right? And they need to make sure that the Chromebooks are charged, even though I do have chargers here. We want to try and make this process, right, as efficient and smooth as possible. Students also need to make sure that they are behaving responsibly by being positive and helpful, right? So recognizing that it's a privilege to be a part of this class and in this class, and making sure that they're using their time productively and wisely. Lastly, it's important that students are open to help and advice, right? One of my main goals is to have your students leave my class a better mathematics student than they entered it. Now, that doesn't mean that they're in a bad position right now. It just means that, as is everything in life, we always have room for growth and improvement. And that's my philosophy, both as a teacher and as a person, that I really hope to impart on your students in this class so that they go into high school as prepared as they possibly can be for success, both in school and beyond. So the course expectations for math skills. It's important to understand that math skills is not a study hall or tutoring session. It's a full course meant to supplement Math B college prep here at Oak Crest. And with this in mind, we ask that your student comes to class with at least half of their math homework completed for every single class. Mathematics and Math B are subject materials that require constant practice and constant strengthening. I liken them to any kind of sport or muscle where, in order to gain a full breadth and understanding of knowledge, and of mathematical concepts, it's really, really important for your students to continue being exposed to and practicing that material. Um, Here's one thing that I think will be best practices that I want to kind of deviate from our presentation and speak directly with you guys right now. Something that will be really helpful for me as a teacher from you guys, the parents and guardians, is that if you guys can ensure that your student, right, is doing as much of their work as they can independently. So that means independently from both you guys and independently from any kind of materials or aids online. Does that mean they can't use you guys as a resource or use the full, the full breadth of the internet as a tool? Absolutely not. But we're trying to create and cultivate habits and skills with your students, in which case will help create a more independent and self-sufficient mathematician. And it's important that you guys allow them to just go through those growing pains of doing things on their own. And what I can use you guys' help on is making sure you cultivate and encourage that kind of mindset and that kind of space with your students, really pushing them to allocate time for math and then to use that time independently. So uh, this practice, right, of making sure that they get half their homework done on their own before they come to this class is help build and foster impactful, positive learning habits that carry beyond this class. Now, we're going to review and check their work at the beginning of class every single day. So we're going to ensure that it's done correctly. And our goal is to make incremental improvements over time. Students will have independent group and class practice of the concepts they're learning in Math B to supplement all their knowledge and to expand and kind of deepen any concepts that we're learning in Math B. Sort of our daily routine. So math skills is a safe, potting and learning environment. Oh, hold on. We've already kind of gone over this. The grading policy. So the grading policy. The grade in math skills will be based on participation. Students are expected to arrive with half of their Math B homework completed. We've talked about that. Students are expected to demonstrate on-task behavior and meet the expectations given at the start of the class session. I always have a daily agenda with all of the different kind of details about the main goals we have for each class period. We have about 110 minutes roughly for every single class, 115 minutes, but 5 minutes of the first period is usually spent towards the morning announcements. And it's a lot of time to get work done and to use it and to optimize. We have almost 2 hours each session. It's a lot of time for growth. Students should be focused on math assignments and a task at hand and should strive to help others do the same, right? We're trying to cultivate a group mentality, a hive mind, so to speak, to make sure that all students are holding each other accountable and helping each other build to those skills that they wish to achieve. Lastly, positive participation is expected in class, not distracting behavior that takes away from our time together. We will be practicing all of these throughout the course of this year. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, right, you guys can always contact me at my classroom phone at 760-753-6241. You can also contact me and email me, which is the best method, at connor.green@stuhsd.net. Thank you for coming, and please contact me if you guys have any questions. Thank you, and have a great year. I look forward to seeing and hearing from you guys.